Hello, Free Footy friends. I'm so sorry for that awkward pause. It kicked me out all of a sudden. Sorry, Hayley, for leaving you behind. But hello, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful Wednesday. I know the weather's been kind of on and off, but I hope you can enjoy it as much as you can. I would all like you guys to meet Hayley Degaust. Is that how you say last name?
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Hi, Hayley. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing wonderful. Before we just continue, let me just make sure that we're on live because I don't know why it kicked me out. Sorry everyone, if we are live, you're just gonna have to watch me for a moment. That was really strange. That's never happened to me before. Okay, we're good. We're live. Okay, awesome. Hayley, how's it going? How are you doing through all of this right now?
I'm doing okay, staying at home for the most part, but getting out and enjoying the weather for some runs when I'm off work for the day, and trying to do some work outside too when I can to get some fresh air.
That's awesome. For those who don't know who you are, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey as an athlete, and then kind of what you're working on currently.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thanks. So I used to compete in track and field and cross country running. So I started when I was, I think grade 4 or 5, running in school, and then I joined a club in junior high and high school and competed throughout there. And then in university, I had the pleasure of competing for the UofA Pandas in cross country and track and field. I was a middle distance runner, so mainly on the track. I ran 800s, 1500s, steeplechase a little bit, which was really fun.
What is it? Steeplechase? What is it?
Yeah, so you run over barriers on the track, so it's a farther distance. So anywhere from 1,500 meters to 3,000. I think there might even be some 5K steeplechase races, but I just did 1,500 and 3,000, and you're over barriers, and then there's a water pit. So to people, it's kind of like horse jumping in a way with barriers and water, but it's on a track. Yeah, it's quite the wild event, but very fun.
That is actually super cool.
Yeah, so I did throughout university. While I was in university, I got a degree in education and also physical education, which I think now at the UofA is called kinesiology. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to jump right into a classroom and teach, so I was looking for some other work and saw a position with Everactive Schools, who I currently work for, working with a new program called the AMA Youth Run Club. And so I was like, oh, I love running, and it's working with schools. I was keen on it, so I applied and I got the job. And 7 years later, I'm still working with Everactive.
That is super cool. Awesome story. I love hearing the stories of, you get to do something that you love so much as a youth, that now you're actually working and giving back to those other kids who love running and cross country running, track and field. So super cool story. Great. So what are we going to be working with you today?
Yeah, so part of my job with Everactive is I get to run the AMA Youth Run Club, and we've gone virtual now. So we've created some activities and games that you can do while you are at home in a smaller space, because I'm sure most people are stuck in their basements to do some activities. So we're going to run through some games and activities. The first one is with a deck of cards, and it'll get us nice and warmed up.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm ready to get into it. So let's do it.
Okay, awesome.
So before we get started, this is all the space that I have. I think that'll be okay, right? We don't need a lot of space.
No.
Wherever we are. Okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
That should be perfect.
Okay, awesome. Then let's do it.
Okay, sounds good. So for the first one we're going to use, these are, at Everactive Schools, we call them our Lucky Sevens cards. If you don't have a deck of cards like mine, which you probably don't, you can use any deck of cards. My suggestion would be your suits, so your hearts, diamonds, spades, or clubs. Just pick an activity, and those can be what you're going to use, and then the number on the card is how many you're going to do. Mine have activities on them, so that's what we're going to follow. So the first one, as you can see, is hand to foot kicks, and it's a jack on the top. So our face cards are going to be 10. So you're going to move back in your space. If you don't have very much space, you don't have to move far. You can do it just stationary. If you have a bit more space, you can do a bit more. So we're going to do 10 of them. When you're doing it, try to keep your body up nice and tall. If you're not as flexible like I am, you can just touch your shin or your knee. If you're more flexible, you can try to touch your toe. You're alternating sides and going opposite hand, opposite leg. So if you're counting at home, I lost track, but I think I have about 2 or 3 more. Okay, awesome. So that's our first one. Our next one is also a 10, and it's our high knees.
Okay.
So for this one, we want to make sure we don't forget to use our arms. Again, you can just do it on the spot. So that's what I'm going to do. And make sure, when I used to coach track and field, I always said when your leg goes up, have it nice and flat so you can hold a platter or a plate and it won't tip over when your leg's coming up. It's nice and flat, and then switching legs. So we're just going to do 10 of these. Get our legs nice and warmed up, body's nice and tall. Switching legs. 9 and 10. Okay. Our next one is our bum kicks. So you're going to kick your heel to your bum. Again, body's nice and tall. This is a key one on most of these. And make sure we're moving our arms in opposite motions with our legs. Okay. And our next one is our skier jumps, and there's a 5 on that one. So for this one, you're going to stand to one side, bend your knees, legs apart, and arms, and you're going to jump to the other side. When you're landing for this one, you want to make sure you're landing nice and quiet so you're not hurting your legs, and you're bending as you land. And one more.
Do you want to talk about the arms? Because I feel like, yeah, you want to just touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, sounds good. So when you're doing these jumps, it's really great to move your arms back and then forward with your motion, because they're going to propel your body forward as you go. So they go back when I bend down, and then forward, back, and forwards.
Awesome.
Our next one, this one's one of my favorites, is bear walk. And we have 10 of these. So for bear walk, you're going to, if your space is limited, you can just do bear walk in a tiny circle or back and forth. You can go backwards and then forwards. So your legs are going to be straight. You're going to reach your arms out so they're also straight. And then you can walk around the space, moving your arms and legs at the same time, like a bear. You should really feel a stretch in the back of your legs while you do this. And when you're done 10 little steps, then you're good to go.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like how that one warms up your shoulders and your arms a bit more. Next one, this one we should all know pretty well. So this is jumping jacks. So we have 7 of these. Just watch if you learn. My basement's a little low. We should have enough height. 7, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we have 2 more. So next one is another one that's going to stretch our body. So it's inchworm.
Okay.
We have 9 of these. So for this one, you're going to start standing. You're going to walk your hands out on the floor, keeping your legs nice and straight. You're going to walk your hands out as far as you can. So my comfort level is about a flat plank. And then I'm going to walk my toes as far as I can to meet my hands. I can only go part of the way. Some of you may be flexible enough to be able to go all the way. Once you're there, you're going to go again and reach your hands out further and then meet your feet. Again, if space is limited, you now can go back and meet your hands. Since we have 9 of them. One more. Okay. That one is a really good stretch.
Yeah, that one was good. Whew.
Okay, and our last one is a jump for height. So we're going to try to jump as high as we can, and we have 4 of them. So for this one, again, watch your ceiling. If you have a lot of space and height, you can reach your hand up while you're jumping, which will help get you some height. I don't have a lot of height here, so I'm not going to use my hands beyond about straight out in front of me. Again, like jumping before, bend your knees, feet wide under your shoulders, arms go back, and then they're going to propel you up as you go. But watch the ceiling, so down and as high as you can go. Again, trying to land nice and softly so there's less impact on your legs. Okay.
Awesome. Whew.
Nice and warm.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm getting a good sweat on. Awesome. That was the last one, right?
Yeah, that was the last one.
Awesome. So I think this is a great activity, even if we don't have the deck of cards, even if you don't even have a normal deck of cards, I'd encourage everyone at home to make your own, grab pieces of paper, cut them up into cards. And then I love those cards because it shows you like the drawing of the activity. And hey, let's get creative and make your own cards and draw out, jumping jacks, or draw out that inchworm, or draw out the bear crawl. But super awesome.
Yeah, I love that idea. It was little stick people. That's all the drawings I have, but that would work so well.
Yeah, make them your own cards and, draw mom and dad on the cards and, oh, mom, dad, you got to do it with me. That's awesome. Cool. I'm already warmed up, so I know we're going to be doing a second activity.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's get into it.
Hey, sounds great. So this activity is called 4-leaf clover. So this one is one we do with our run clubs all the time. It's great to do at home. Again, I have a nice square space here. If you don't, instead of going around in a square like I will, you can just go back and forth across your room.
Okay.
So I'm going to be using the 4 corners of my room, and I'm going to be moving. So I'm going to be using locomotor movements to move from one corner to the next. Once I get to the corner, I'm going to do non-locomotor or stationary. So that means staying in one spot movements when I get there. And then we'll go through about 2 or 3 times the square. So when I get to the activities, I'll stop and explain them. And then once we get going, we can just run through it. So the first one, I'm going to go to my first corner, which is this one. I'm going to do my locomotor movement to the other corner, which the first one is going to be hopping on one foot. I'm just going to hop. Remember which foot you did, so I'm going to start on my left, so next time I'll do my right. Once you get to your corner, you're going to do a stationary one. So this one is our airplane balance. For this, you're going to stand on one foot. Put your arms out to help you balance. Slowly lift your other foot as high as you feel comfortable, keeping your back nice and straight. And we're going to count to 10 to hold this balance. If it's too hard for you, you can drop your toe to the ground and then try to slowly lift it up as you feel comfortable. Bouncing. And that was 10. Awesome. So now our next locomotor movement is going to be a side shuffle. So for my side shuffle, I'm going to face one direction. I'll do it this way first, and you're going to bring one foot together to kick the other one. I'm going to do it to my next corner. Now that I'm at that corner, I'm going to do mountain climbers. So for these mountain climbers, your hands are going to be straight out in front of you, legs back, so you're making almost an A shape with your body. You're going to flatten out your body to a nice straight plank. So my body is one straight line, and you're going to move your legs up and down like you're climbing a mountain. So your knee goes to your same elbow, and we're going to do 10 of them. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. And our next one is our jump for distance. So same jumping we used in our warm-up. You're going to jump as far as you can to go to the next spot. And our next stationary one is our crab balance. So for this one, your hands are going to be placed under your shoulders, fingers facing your feet. You're going to lift your body so you're nice and flat. And you're going to pull your belly button up to the sky, and you're going to hold this for 10 seconds. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. And our next our locomotor movement is going to be skipping. So I'm going to skip, lifting my knees to the final spot. And my final spot is going to be a one-legged squat. And I'm going to switch feet each time so my legs don't get sore. So you're going to stand on one foot, kick the other foot out a little bit. I'm going to use my hands in front of me to help me with balance. And you're going to bend down like you're sitting in a chair and back up. I'm going to switch legs each time. So I find this one tiring on the legs. So you're sitting nicely in a chair for this one. Watch your knee that it doesn't go out too far. It shouldn't go past your toes. Nice little sit. And
this one requires so much balance.
I know.
Awesome.
The farther down you go, the harder it is. So we'll go through that quick circuit. I won't explain everyone this time, but we'll do it twice more.
Okay.
Done. So we're going to hop again. The other foot. And then you're going to do your airplane balance.
Ten fractions, right?
And then our side shuffle. So face the other direction. Feet coming together. And now our mountain climbers again. So body out, nice and flat. Moving our knee to our elbow. 10 of them. And then our big jumps. 2 feet. Our crab balance. Body up nice and tall. Fingers facing your toes. 8, 9, and 10. And skipping again. And the hardest ones are one-legged squats. I always tend to lose my balance. The more I do these and my body gets a little more tired, I find the balancing ones are a little bit. Okay, how are we doing? Do we have one more in us?
Yeah, let's do one more. I think we can do one more.
Sounds good. One more, so we're gonna do our hopping again. And our airplane balance. And our side shuffle. Feet coming together.
Awesome.
And we're going to climb the mountain again with our mountain climbers.
Awesome.
And our big jumps. And then when we get to our jumps, we're going to do our crab again one last time. And our last locomotor, which is our skipping. Okay, to end on my favorite one, which is the one-legged squat. One more for me, and then we're done.
Oh,
Rick.
That was awesome. Guys, you can see my sweat. It's awesome. Sweet. Thank you, Hayley. That was fantastic. So same thing with this one. the kids can get creative and, make it whatever they want it to be.
Yeah, there's so many different combinations. You can do any type of activities to the corners.
Yeah. And you know what? I would even encourage kids to maybe they don't have to make it a square, If they want to place them all over the house and just make a sweet circuit out of it, totally do that. More creativity from them and just doing whatever they want to kind of work on, then yeah, go for it, right? But that was great work. Like I said, I'm already sweating. That was so fun. I love one-legged squats. They're so difficult, but like the best for you, right? Awesome. Thank you so much, Hayley. Before, let's get into our mental health chat. Do you want to just add anything, or are you good? We can move on.
Just
with the activity.
To add, if anyone does want to join the virtual run club, it's completely free.
Mm-hmm.
Get some free emails weekly with different activities you can try. So I think the link will be provided, and we hope you join us.
You got it. I'm going to put the link in the comments of the video. So if you do want to check out the AMA Youth Run Club, I'll put in the link. And just as Hayley said, it is free to join. Lots of good resources, and you get to meet people through it, right? Because eventually, will you guys be going outside?
Yeah, so we do some fun runs when school is on. Right now we are having some virtual fun runs. So we have some marketers talking and some virtual running race bibs you can download, and
cool.
About participating at home.
That's awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get into our mental health topic of the week. This week, we're talking about labeling emotions, which we think is a very important skill for kids to learn, just to excel, whether it's in sport or just school or life, really. So with labeling emotions, what I like to tell my athletes is we need to recognize how we're feeling when we come towards or we face a difficult situation or a challenging situation. So I want to ask you, is there kind of a personal story of yours or a challenge that you faced, whether you were in a youth athlete or maybe now, that you had to recognize your emotions and kind of process them and not just get stuck in that emotion, but rather, continue on and improve or get out of that challenging situation?
Yeah, for sure. So one that really stands out in my mind is when I was competing. I think I was just entering university age, and I was running on the indoor track, and I was running a 1,500-meter race, which was 7.5 laps, which is quite a bit to count while you're running and keep track of the laps. And I was on pace to, I think it was a standard time I was trying to reach, and I was on pace to beat it and on pace to run a personal best time. So I was really excited, and the race ended, and then I was told that the officials miscounted the laps and I was one short. So my time didn't count, the race didn't count, I had to redo it. And I was so disappointed. I couldn't figure out the emotion right away, but definitely taking a step back and talking to my coach and family after, talking through it, I realized pretty quickly it was disappointment. And I still think back to that memory, like I remember it, but it wasn't something I got stuck on because I did talk to a lot of people after, and talking about that emotion definitely helped me.
That's awesome. So obviously this wasn't the first time that you've faced a difficult situation, right? So when you felt that disappointment, you kind of already knew what your process was. You needed to talk to someone about it. So I'm sure you had a good, close relationship with your coach and your parents, that you were able to go and talk to them and say, like, come on, how do I go through this, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I love that point that you made, because I feel like a lot of kids or athletes are scared to ask the questions, and they rather face that emotion alone. And I don't think that's the right way about going through that emotion, because as your coaches, they want the best for you, right? They want to see you excel and achieve, if this was going to be one of your personal best times, they want you to achieve that, right? So you felt comfortable enough to go to your coach and talk through it and know that he's going to give you good feedback at the end of the day. right? Was there, now that you coach and you're in this run club, do you have kind of do you see that with your athletes now and kids now being able to talk to you and ask questions about their achievements?
Yeah, for sure. And I think one important thing is to remember, even with my coach back then and me now, helping and working with students, is they feel disappointment too. So they could be feeling that emotion with you, and it's good to share that. And they might, it just makes you feel a little bit better knowing that you're not alone in that, and there's other people that care about the situation and you, and yeah, open up and talk to them about it. They're there to support you.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point because I think we talked about this with with our basketball coach on Monday. Was we're all a team, right? There's very little times that you do something together or alone. Sorry, even whether it's school or whether it's your team sport, even running, where they say running track and field is almost an individual sport, but at the end of the day, you have a team behind you.
You do, yeah.
And I love that you brought that up, that your coach also feels disappointment as well, because even though you're doing most of the work, they're there enjoying that work with you, and they're going to feel the same way. So definitely great points on that. Cool. Do you have any kind of advice and tips and tricks for kids on how they can deal with their emotions, or maybe, find a way to process them better?
Yeah, I think everyone will probably deal with emotions in a different way. So just knowing that your way is not the wrong way, and feel as you need. Like some people, my first response is to go talk to people. Some people need a quiet moment or two before they're ready to do that. So I would just say, know the way that works best for you.
Yeah, try, right? Maybe next time that you feel something, try to talk to someone. And if that doesn't feel good, then you know what? Try to have a moment alone. But don't let it hold you back, right? Because I think something that I like to preach is emotions are natural. We're all humans and we all feel emotions. They're everywhere in everything we do. Just being on this conversation, I'm excited, I'm happy, I'm having a great time, and that's an emotion, right? Same when you look at a rainy day, it's like, oh, I can't go outside, but it's an emotion. It's everywhere. So don't be ashamed of feeling things. Definitely not something to be shameful. We all feel stuff, but try to either talk to someone or take a moment yourself. What I love to do, I honestly, whenever I feel frustrated or upset about something, I actually like to walk away from a situation and just take a breath and refocus. So if I'm doing a soccer skill and I just can't get it, I will walk away, take a moment, refocus, understand, okay, what am I doing? What can I fix? What can I adjust? Okay, then I move on. Or I talk to someone that's near to me and say, hey, can you watch me do this? I need some help, right? So great points. Thank you for that, Hayley. Thank you so much for the session. Great work that you're doing with Everactive and awesome work with the AMA Youth Run Club. Like I told everyone, I will be putting it in the comments below, the link to the Run Club so that they can join. It's free, lots of good resources, and yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. We will see you guys all tomorrow. Tomorrow we have another session at 4 p.m. We have FC Edmonton player Sun coming back, and he's going to be showing us a few skills, and we will also ask him how he deals with his emotions on and off the pitch. So we will see you guys all tomorrow. Thank you, Hayley, so much for the fun session at home. Very, very easy to do. So thank you. See you guys later and have a wonderful Wednesday. Bye.